Merry Meetle! So, I've got a microphone plugged in, so hopefully the audio is a lot better now. We will see. Okay, so I was up till 2 o'clock in the morning. Around 1:30 I was repotting herbs and fruit bushes, and 1:30 I was putting up this monster under the moonlight on a tall ladder. I don't know, it felt nice for some reason. A bit crazy. Because the other thing too is around dinner time I actually have so much to do with the birds, so cleaning them up for the night and getting them to bed, and they sleep in the house, so they have a bath before they go to bed and clean up and all that stuff. Look at that waggy tail. Or Flint Fireforge. You got a waggy tail? What's wrong with your tail? You won't stop wagging. Oh no. So anyway. Oh, yes. However, alright, so let's have a look-see. And I'm going to share something that if you don't have, it is an Odin's End. Get it if you use things such as cable ties. Oh, yeah, I'm feeling it. Feeling it from working a little bit. Alright, so I'll go into what I've actually done, but I'll share this first. So this is a cable tie tension gun, and there's actually a cutter on the end as well. So there's two handles. So this one here is to tighten up the cable tie, and then that one in the bottom is to snip it. And when you've got a whole line up like this, it just makes life so easy. I will show how to use it, and Buffy here's having a dirt bath. I haven't put out any feed for my hens this morning because basically this is, so anyway, I'll show you this again. So you basically feed through, and then once you've tightened up the tension of the cable, yep, and there you go. I'll do it again. So the end of this cable here, I'm going to feed through the cutter, and then through this little gap at the top there. So you're feeding through 2 slots. Like that, and you just move the handle up and down to ratchet it. When you've got it as tight as you can, then you just snip it. Easy. Doesn't that make life easy? Especially when you've got heaps and heaps of cable ties. Now, let's go through what I've done and what I need to do. Sort of humming and hawing if I do it now, or I'll wait till the ladies go to bed tonight. But I don't know. I really do want to move this house of theirs now, before they go to bed tonight. So my plan is to flush this face of the house against this wall here. You see all these cable ties here, how I've cut them with the cable tension. And now, I'm so digressing. Now we have the smaller run, which the hens had, for the duckies that need time out. So I've got Catherine here with Suna and Leuka. Leuka's always been the smallest duck of the group. Always a little sensitive and always walking very tall, almost like a runner duck. She's always had a bit of issues with laying eggs, but she did have an incident early on when I got her. She was about 6 months old, where she actually was picked up and dropped by a goshawk. And I don't know whether it's just her lot or whether that incident actually made a bit of damage with her organs in regards to producing eggs and that sort of thing. I don't have my birds for eggs and all that sort of thing. They're my pets. Some people have cats and dogs. I do have a cat, but these guys are my family. Flint Fireforge can be a little bit too much. So, you know, Stuna's got a disabled leg, as most of you guys know. The intertarsal joint, i.e. ankle, has a subluxation, i.e. sub-slip, and surgery will just make things worse. So I just have to manage her accordingly. So her swelling has come right down. But if I let her just hang out with the boys, be it Flint Fireforge, friggin' Fawn, all the time, it will start swelling up again. Partly because they might be a bit rough on her when they're on top of her sometimes if she's tired or she's trying to keep up with everybody. And that said, Leuka here, she will actually mid-afternoon, if she's with everybody, covering up the microphone. Mid-afternoon, if she's with everybody, she'll end up isolating herself, going into a corner somewhere and just wanting to be by herself. She definitely is not 100% hormonal wise or something. As long as she's eating fine, she's probably losing a little bit too much weight for my liking, to be honest with you. But I nearly lost her a couple of weeks ago. She was just passing out, and she has been to the vet. Honey, what are you doing? He's holding one wing out and walking. Funny boy. He's like, oh, look at these cheeky babes. So, I just keep an eye on her, keep her warm, and as long as the functions are right, and she's I'm covering the microphone up again, it's a bad habit. What do you do? I mean, I think sometimes, sometimes things happen to us, like we might get ill or something like that, and sometimes we're too focused on fixing what is wrong. Sometimes you can't fix what's wrong, but what you can do is make sure that the time you have left, that you're loved, that you love, and that you find peace and happiness in the time that you've got left, because none of us live infinitely in this lifetime. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that there's no such thing as future lives and past lives. I'm just saying the life that you remember in the now is not infinite. You know what I mean? So non-human animals are no different. Don't they deserve to enjoy if something is wrong, as long as they're pooping fine and they just might be a little bit extra quiet or whatever. Maybe you're to give them a chance to have those days at peace, like Leuka is here. Maybe that's all you can do sometimes, and I think that's just as important, because none of us live forever in this lifetime, not even the non-human animal. So anyway, back to the run. Poor little Leuka. I do love her. I need to worm everyone again, but I'm hoping now that I've got that separate run just for the covering the microphone again, bad habit. I've got a habit of putting my hand up to my chin as I talk. Don't ask me where I got it from. And I've got the microphone on my lapel, so and oh yeah, duckies, it's very important that they wag their tails sometimes. On a daily basis, they must be wagging that tail. If they're not wagging that tail on a daily basis, there's a dickhead that literally goes on his bicycle around in laps with the stupid stereo playing degenerate shit on his radio. And I can actually smell him before he comes, because he wears a really disgusting, obnoxious, cheap aftershave, and it almost hits you in the throat. Like, he must think he's really great with his radio stuck in his bicycle. Oh, don't get me started. But as you can see, all my animals, when they smell him coming, they sort of go to the opposite side of the run. And if they're out here, they kind of run for cover and get away as far as they can from. This is a street. That fence line is actually a street. But yeah, they're like, oh, get away from us. I share the sentiment. Anyway, rabbit. So I did the top face, 2 faces for I really love this height. I'm actually putting up roosting poles for these ladies. Buffy is just having the time of her life. What you doing, Buff? She's having a dirt bath. Is it nice? Oh, look at you. So as for the frame, so I did the top bits of the roof first. I did the apex. I didn't put the depth of the roof together though. I just did 2 panes. Because I'm doing this by myself, I find it easier to do one wall, assemble it onto the base, and then stretch and position one end of the roof into one pole, and then to the other one, and then go back and secure them both sides. Then I did that with the back part. Once they're both on there, then I put in the width poles on between one, the middle, then the end, and then went back over the 3 sections, the side, middle, side, with the ladder, and reinforced the tightness of the screws. Now, as you can see, I've done a hardware cloth. This is a 10 millimeter or 1 centimeter square. That's the perfect size to stop even mice getting in there, unless they burrow and dig in there. Hi, Leuka! Honey! You okay, sweetie? No. Baby girl. You right, puppy? Yeah, she's doing that a lot. She'll rest with her head on the water bowl and she'll, drink. Damn it, production. Boys, don't be beastie. Frig, fawn, take turns. Don't need to go jumping at the same time on the same girl. No. I know I can see you. Yes. I'll let them run out in a sec. Okay, so as for the hardware cloth, so what I did is, starting with the back, I had a 20 meter roll, and I just stretched out as much length as I could up. Then I fed it over, and then with the ladder, fed it over the center, and then fed it over the other pole at the side there, the other side, and then pushed it down as though I was pulling down a drape. And then I made sure I had a little bit of excess on the bottom, and I used a cable tie to secure it. And then I stretched it back over this way so it was slightly flush, and then I used my pin snips to cut along. So if you're going to work with hardware cloth, I really do recommend also using pin snips, these guys here. I was literally using big bulky wire cutters, and it would take me like half an hour to cut a 30 centimeter length. It was so tedious, one wire at a time. With these, you literally cut like scissors as though you were cutting just through tin, not individual wires, and literally it's like not even a minute to cut through a meter of length. So also do recommend that if you have feathered friends, that you have tin snips in your kit, and that you use hardware cloth, not chicken wire, because chicken wire is feckless. Little birds can still get in there. You're still going to have a biosecurity issue, and also small rodents will still get in there. And also it's easier for predators like foxes to chew through a chicken wire than it is to chew through a hardware cloth. Baby, oh, my little Leuka, are you happy there, honey? Me, Suna. It's amazing how full of life Suna is. She's got a disabled leg, but she's so, she's named after the goddess, or the sun goddess in Nordic traditions. But she is literally my little sunshine. She's everyone's sunshine. She makes everyone's day. Doesn't she? Yeah. Cute cat. Hi. We'll be making Catherine a wheelchair soon. I mean, I was going to get one laser printed in the States, but I don't know. I've got to get this shit sorted out first, and you know, I'm always juggling. Always get so much on my plate. So anyway, back to the now I use 2 different sizes of cable ties, so I need to go back to the hardware store tomorrow and buy more. So I just run out. So I use 2 different sizes, and I'll show you what I used. And for tin snips, I've just got Supercraft here in Australia. These are right-sided. You can get left-sided as well. But yeah, if you keep chickens or just any fowl, and you know you obviously have runs in that, I do recommend having tin snips in your toolkit to cut wires, hardware cloth, make a really light, easy job of it all. And cable ties are really handy, especially if you're a one-man boat. So if you're doing shit by yourself, cable ties can help you hold something in on one end as you go to the other end to pull it tight. And that's what I've just done. You know, they say, oh, you need like 8 people to do this sort of size run, and I was like, got to do it myself, man. I've got no choice. So the sizes I use 2. I use a 3.6mm, which is the actual the width here, and I also use a 1.5mm, which is not whoopsie, but you know what I mean, is a smaller one here. So I use the smaller cable tie to flush together 2 different sheet rolls or 2 different panes of hardware cloth, whereas for the hardware cloth onto the pole, I wanted a hardier, more thicker and more secure and slightly longer cable tie, and that's where I've got these. So I need to get more. So I used 150 so far, and I'm probably going to use another 100, I would say, by the time I finish it all. Now I can scrounge around to get enough hardware cloth to do this door. However, these caps, I'm not going to be able to get hardware. I mean, I have to get hardware cloth extra for those. But I do have a tarp, which I'm going to pull all the way over, including these faces. So that will provide some blocking from any birds getting in there that aren't my chickens, until I get that hardware cloth. And there's toggles on the end, so it's going to be easy, not easy, but it's going to be relatively easy for me to take it on and off. It's probably going to be a bit of a nightmare to get it up on there myself, but I will do it. I have to do it. So yeah, so I did one length, so I covered one side over the roof, the other side, and then I repeated the process to get 2 meters in width in coverage. Now I secured, as for securing, I swear the kid next door is more obnoxious and noisier than all my animals put together. Like, it's just, there's one child there and you'd swear there was an herd of elephants running around and making noise. But ooh, and yeah, you smell smoke and pot and everything from there. I don't understand why some people have children when they're going to be like that, especially. Anyway, I digress. So I put cable ties on either end on the 3 roofing poles, and then also down the sides. They're sticking out now because I haven't tightened them and snipped off the edges yet. So I did that one side, and then once I've got the second sheet over, I basically started from the front there and worked almost up the roof, then down, and so you can see the little, probably can't really see it from here, but yeah, I worked from that side, up the roof, from the inside, and you know, joined together the roofing and the wall with the smaller cable tie. Yeah, it was a bit windy too last night. I had a few moments of swear words as I was going through. Oh, and the packet for the cable tie or the nylon cable tie tensioning tool. It's supposed to be up to 9mm for cable ties. So there's that one. Another little tip too, when you're working with metal, using these soft cotton gloves, made life really much more pleasant, because there's a powder coating on the metal that they put, and it's so disgusting. You feel like you want to scrub yourself for days after handling the metal poles that are being treated with zinc and whatnot. Anyway, digressing. So, sides and roofing done. I then basically hung up an end of the roll up the top there and used the cable tie. Then secured the other side, evened it out, so it was an equal side on each side. Then I went down and cable tie one side, cable tie, so in a zigzag fashion, so that way I didn't end up, having the sheet too pulled over one side and then too much of a gap on the other. Now, bear in mind, see how that's nice and flushed over there like that. Once I've tightened everything, that's not going to be, I am actually going to use wire to sew around. But the cable ties is good for positioning, getting the hardware cloth flushed and in position for when you do the finer work of the wire. But it's more important for me at this point in time to just have my chickens nice and secure for the night, etc. So down zigzag fashion, then on the bottom, repeated the process on the other side. With the back, I literally have to have 3 rolls. I literally only had not even one height of a roll enough